Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be looking at some little challenges and activities you can do with bean bags. Primarily we're thinking about this being for sort of reception year 1, year 2. You can make it a little bit easier for younger children, you can make it a bit harder for older children. So some of the things here, we're going to look at a broad range. So some of these things might be a little bit too easy, in which case whiz through them. And you get to the point where some of the things might be a little bit too tricky, in which case press pause, have a little practice, go back a bit, see what things that are on there that you can do. So we're going to be using a bean bag, but equally you could use a ball. This tennis ball was okay until recently. The dogs just nipped out, borrowed it and destroyed it, but equally that can still be used to throw and catch. We're going to be using a bean bag. Haven't got a bean bag, some rolled up socks do exactly the same job. So if you've got something like a bean bag at home, at every point, this could get very dull very quickly, but try and be like enthusiastic, encourage your kids, lots of challenge, see if they can do things faster, with more control, set little challenges, see if they can beat you, see if they can beat their record, write down how many they could do today, see if they can beat it tomorrow, so you keep that sort of challenge element going. So here we're going to go. We're going to start just with some simple stuff. Now it's very easy generally. Right-handed people want to have a bean bag in their right hand and keep it on their right side. So a lot of activities that we're going to do are going to get the bean bag crossing the midline of our body, which gets the two hemispheres of the brain firing up and lots of activity going. So these are great activities to do, to wake up the kids. Maybe you're going to do some literacy or numeracy. Do a few of these challenges before you get started, just to fire them up, get them going. So let's just start passing hand to hand. Passing hand to hand, far too easy for your year 2s, year 3s. For reception children, they might have to do this very slowly and literally take it out of the hand of the other hand, but we can just get the beanbag passing. Can you do it any quicker? How fast can you do it? How many can you do in 30 seconds? You can challenge the children on this. Let's get them passing now. You could pass it round your waist, hand to hand. That gets the brain really thinking about transferring the beanbag. Transferring where they can't see it will be really tricky. Your reception children are going to be dropping this all the time. That is absolutely fine. See how many they can do before they drop it. How many they can do in 30 seconds. All those challenges can come in. You'll see again, I'm very comfortable moving it around in this direction, but maybe try the other way. Even for me, that feels just a little bit unnatural. I find that a little bit more tricky. So we can do it both ways. What else can we pass the bean bag around? Now the children will come up with lots of ideas on that, and you can just get going with it and have some fun. What can they pass the bean bag around? But I can pass it around my head, so going in front of my eyes, round the back of my head, round the front of my eyes, round the back of my head. Can we do it the other way? Whoa. Again, I find that really awkward. There's a natural preference to which way we'd like to do that. Can you pass it around a leg? So I'm passing it around one leg, or I can pass it around the other leg. And we could try going the other way. Can you pass it in the other direction? Could we pass it in a figure of 8 around our legs, in and out of each? So there's lots of little challenges you can do, which would be perfect for reception, just passing the beanbag around. What about some throwing and catching? So again, for reception, we're talking about 2 hands together and just little tiny jumps. The beanbag might barely leave their hands. But as we get older and as they get better, we might say, can you throw it a little bit higher? Key here, hands out, soft hands, watching the beanbag all the time. Watching the beanbag all the time. How can we extend this? How high can you throw it and not drop it? I'm looking right to the side, I'm going to have to turn to the side. So can we throw it higher? Can we throw it faster? Can we throw it from one hand to the other? So it's now crossing the midline from hand to hand. Can we throw it with just one hand? Nice and easy with my dominant hand. How about with my left hand only? Can I throw, clap my hands and catch? Can you throw it a bit high? How many times can you clap your hands before catching the beanbag? spend lots of time on that. You can have a daily challenge, see if you can beat it from the day before. Can you clap your hands behind your back and catch the beanbag? Can you clap your hands under a leg and catch the beanbag? Can you, can you do both legs? Really tricky. Can you touch the floor? No. Can you touch the floor and still catch it? That's really tough because you have to take your eyes off the beanbag or get very awkward. So loads of little challenges there. Target throwing. I could just chalk out a target on the floor, put a piece of paper on the floor, make a target on the floor. You can get loads of little challenges going, throwing a beanbag towards a target. Keys there to encourage your children is to have opposition. So I'm right-handed, I'd have my left foot forward as I throw. It's just a nice little underarm action. But you could set up a target on the ground. There you go. Hundreds of things you could use. And we can make the challenge harder by being further away, making the target smaller. You could set up some sort of target where there were scoring zones. So there's a bullseye in the middle where they score more. Lots of little target activities. In terms of a bit of leg work and coordination, beanbag on the ground, we can just get them stepping over to start with, the reception children. And that could build up to jumping over, two-footed. Challenges on that are really tough. If we did 30 seconds of those and kept a record, that is really quite hard work doing that for 30 seconds. Alternatives, we're jumping forward and backwards over our beanbag. Any variety of those. If you've got a number of beanbags or similar, we could do some jumping over a series. We could do some hopping over a series on one leg or the other. We could get some hopscotch going. 1 foot, 2 foot, 1 foot, 2 foot. So loads of little jumping around games, throwing games, catching games, all with a beanbag. Have fun. Beautiful day today. Get outside if you possibly can. If it's safe to do so, you've got an area you can use outside. Get some sunlight. 20 minutes of these little activities every day with your little ones. Do them so much good. Have fun. Stay safe. Bye.